It's daybreak on iBrandTV Lagos. The insatiable needs of man necessitated his movement from one place to another. And one among the major means by which he has been able to move from one place to the other to meet his daily needs is by air travel through the use of airplane. Now, there is a high record of airport infrastructure, especially in the 1970s and 80s. Some industry experts argue that Nigeria has continued to witness retrogression in the area of air facilities. Now, while some commend government for strengthening the regulatory agency, the Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority, NCAA, has ensured that in the past 6 years, Nigeria has not witnessed any accident involving commercial airliner. We have right here in the studio to help us understand more of this subject, the one and only Dayo Kayode, political technocrat. Good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning. How are you today?
Beautiful.
Good morning. I like this Independence special.
Keep liking her. Don't ever like me.
Thank you, Dr.
I'm
Dayo.
not
You look
jealous.
amazing. You're off-white.
Thank you.
With the, I don't know what's...
Yes, it's to show Africanism.
Yeah, I like the stuff on the...
Believe in Africa. Africa is the best. I mean, you can also see the Ashoke thing there. Ashoke thing there and all that.
Beautiful there.
Beautiful.
That's my belief in Africanism.
Yeah, it's nice.
A good one. Currently, Nigeria has 20 airports, 23 active domestic airlines, 554 licensed pilots, 913 licensed engineers, 1,700 cabin personnel. Now, as the giant of Africa, the most populous black nation, and the largest economy in Africa, are you satisfied with the statistics?
I want to know, one, how true that statistics are. One. Two, when you are saying giant of Africa, is it in terms of aviation that we are discussing, or in terms of our population?
Everything considered.
Because when you're talking about population,
okay,
we used to be giant of Africa when it comes to aviation in the past. But now, we are nowhere when we're talking of Kenya Airways, when you're talking of South African Airways, when you're talking of Ethiopia, you know, and even some other ones that are also coming up. Because over the years, aviation generally in Nigeria has deteriorated due to politicization instead of professionalism. When you look at aviation development in Nigeria, you're going to see that, yes, we rose from a point, especially when we're having our development plans. You know, 5-year development plan, the first one immediately after our independence, 1962 to 1968 or so. Then we have the second one, 1970 to about 76 after the Civil War. Thereafter, we have the third and the fourth. And when you go through those development plans, you're going to see the way aviation was developing. One of those plans, I think the third one, even gave birth to what we have today in Ikeja, Richard Mohammed Airport, Ikeja. The fourth one, I think, gave rise to about 19 airports, except that of Abeokuta, Ajaokuta, and the one other place that were not developed. And then we started moving from one policy, reformation, and all that. Where are they today? Rather than seeing professionals coming in, what we experienced was that of professionals from the industry. And that's why we are where we are today. You can also recollect You can also recollect that some time past, Nigeria was having aircraft. We're having Nigerian Airways that was flying all over the world, to New York, to Bristol, in UK, Gatwick, and all that, everywhere. And you even see some of these other countries now coming to Nigeria to come and understudy our aviation system. I could recall in the past, we were also having a place at that airport there where aircraft from South Africa, from even the Emirates, were coming to do their sea check in Nigeria. Where are all those facilities? Where are all those facilities? Where are all those aircrafts? Where were all those professionals that were in the industry before now? Go to the airport and see.
All right, you mentioned the aviation industry is deteriorating or has deteriorated. Aside being a political technocrat, you are also an aviation expert.
Yeah.
And also talk about the gross domestic product of the aviation sector. In 2020, it was contracted by 36.96%.
So what?
In 2020,
Yeah.
the GDP was 36.96% compared to 13.17% in 2019. It would now in 2019 it had about 149.35 billion naira. Now this was published by the MBS and compiled by Nairametrics. So if you really talk about deteriorating with all this, this is an increase compared to 2018. Even in 2020, when we thought that the coronavirus had come and would spoil a lot of things, we still have this. So really, is it deteriorating in terms of the infrastructures or the GDP that comes out from it?
Good. One, thank God you mentioned that infrastructure. What kind of infrastructure do we have in our aviation industry today compared to what is being expected by ICAO, International Civil Aviation Organization, compared to the standards expected? You remember, some few weeks ago, the minister even said, Minister of Aviation, say our airports were not constructed to handle international travels. I mean, you can imagine that coming from such an authority, because it sees it all, coming from such an authority. So what are you talking about? Because when you're talking about to handle, we're talking about infrastructure. We're talking about personnel. Okay? So those are issues that we need to consider in this area. Then we are now talking about the GDP. Where are those money going to? You know, where are those money going to?
So is it the issue of transparency? Yeah, or because if you have so much money and the infrastructures are not put in place, that means there's a lack of transparency. For instance,
that GDP we be inclusive of airport tax,
yeah,
toll gates,
correct,
all those toll gates that they collect there, parking,
insurance,
parking, even aircraft parking at the airport and all that. Where are all this money going to? Why are we not using this money to develop our airport? That's an aspect. How much money is government itself generating from air travel in terms of, do you have national carrier?
exactly.
Do you have national carrier? Remember, I was on a platform some time ago when the Minister of Aviation went to launch a new Nigeria airline or whatever in far away UK and not in Nigeria. And I was invited to that platform to come and discuss it. I said, I bet it. As I said on that platform, about 3 years ago or so, 3 or 4 years ago, I said, I bet it if this airline will take off. Because number one, you are launching a particular airline. You don't have a head office. You don't have a website. What is even your IATA call? What is it? Who are the investors? So look at it. All the money being used to design that logo, which was also designed by a foreigner, not in Nigeria. All those money spent on the paraphernalias of launching of that airline in faraway UK, down the drain till today. So, why are we boasting of the increase in GDP? It's just like you are telling me that our economy is improving, but you cannot interpret it to the prices of Gari and Atarodo in the market. So, well, somebody was discussing about Nigeria's economy. That is the greatest economy in America. I mean, in Africa also. I said, look, I wouldn't buy all those stories, because to me they are just mere English. What is the rate of naira to dollar? Do you understand? What was the rate of naira to dollar 10 years back? And what is the rate of naira to dollar now? What was it in Ghana 10 years ago? What is it in Ghana today? Even our exchange rate to that of Cotonou than there. I mean, so what are you talking about? The whole system is not only aviation. The whole system has deteriorated. And what some of us are trying to look forward to is how Nigeria can be resuscitated.
All right, now, the COVID-19 dealt a deadly blow to
the industry,
all sectors of the
especially
economy,
the industry,
including the aviation industry.
Yeah.
How is Nigeria's aviation industry coping with this, with the outcome of the COVID-19?
The first thing you look at in such an area is what is aviation's response level to incidents like this, because it's an incident. All right? And accidents. That is when you have casualties in a mishap. But this one, it can be seen as incident. It can also be seen as accident, because there could develop some casualties. So the first thing you look at is what infrastructure do we have at our airport? And for you to know the infrastructure, you have to evaluate and assess our port health development. What is the condition of port health in the industry? Go there and find out yourself, you will see. To what extent do we have professionals there? And to what extent are they being trained to be able to handle contemporary and developing issues? There is a katibi pelebe mo oleje. That is, let us start from the rudiments. Let us start from the rudiments. Look at ordinary yellow card. Ordinary yellow card. You know, that yellow card is for you to be able to go for a particular test, and then it will be filled there and stamped. Go to our airport and see what is happening there. As regards that yellow card alone, go there and see. And that is why in Nigeria, if you say you have done your COVID test and all that, when you see get there, you will see be quarantined to find out, because they know the kind of people we are. They know the kind of people we are. We don't, in anything, all ramifications, our image has reduced to the barest minimum. Why? because of corruption and ineptitudeness of our leaders.
Dr. Dio, 61 years later and 61 years after, what would you say about the aviation sector? I'm sure 61 years back, it was seeing that it was going to, at least when we are 61, we would be at least to probably comparing with international standards. But it's Nigeria was celebrating 61 years in a few days, and we're still talking about these things. And Nigeria, being Africa's most populous country, according to statistics, is an important destination for foreign carriers. So that alone should be an advantage. But we are still.
It's supposed.
Okay.
Use that.
Okay, it's supposed to be an advantage. So what steps can be taken to make this an actual advantage?
Now, I will give you some instances from where we will go to answer that question. Look at that our airport, number one. That Lagos Muritala Mohammed International Airport was built after a Schiphol Airport in Amsterdam. Since that time, 79, when it was commissioned, what changes have we been able to make there? Okay? Go to that Schiphol Airport. What changes can we see between that 78, between that 78, 79 and now? Are you with me? Come on, also look at that plan. Have we been able to fully execute that plan that we have started since 1978? What has been the situation of aviation in Nigeria since 1960? What has been the situation of aviation in places like South Africa, Ethiopia, Kenya, even Ghana, even Cotonou here in 1960? What development have they been able to make? How about us? Ordinary to have good aviation policy, will be politicizing it. Ordinary to execute good plans, will be politicizing it. So what will you expect? When you don't put the right peg in the right hole, what will you expect? And that is why we are here today. Through that, we can extrapolate how we can get out of this doldrum, which we are, by ensuring that things are done accordingly to the dictates of international best practices and recommended standard.
Before now, air crash used to be a regular occurrence. In all this while we've been talking about Nigerian aviation industry, we've not said much positive thing about it. But I think in some areas, the aviation industry deserves commendation. For instance, in the past 6 years, we've not recorded any air crash. Isn't it worth commending the aviation industry? This particular feat.
Yeah.
Safety, that's what we're talking about.
You will talk like that because you are a journalist. But as a professional, I will tell you that's what we call hazard. Hazard. They are accidents that are in waiting to occur. Are you with me? That are in waiting to occur. Just a little trigger. Let me give you an instance. In, I think, far back year 2005, I went to deliver an international conference in Abu Dhabi. And my topic then has to do with bird strike. Okay? Why did I choose that particular bird strike? Because I found out with one guy one day at that airport moving around with baits to kill some birds. You know, birds are hazardous to airport safety.
Yeah.
So I picked that. You know why I now picked that? Because even while they were setting baits, the preconditions for birds not to be around the airport or to ward off birds around the airport were not taken care of. You see dump sites. You see, before that road construction at Ikeja along the road, you will see abattoir, which is wrong, to be sited close to the airport. With inside that airport, I have photographs of it in those days. Dump sites within the airport. Okay? You see ant hills very close to the tarmac, where aircraft park. But somehow, let me use that word that you will say, through divine intervention, we will not be having recorded. Even though we were having, they were not all reported. Okay? Not reported. But very mild, little ones, you were not having it. But those things were there. Until after. In fact, I met with this Baba Obakpolo. You know, he's an Air Force man. That Air Force man, Baba Obakpolo. I'm one of his followers when it comes to aviation. You know, the man so much loved me because of my researches in aviation. You know, people say, that this thing you are saying is because we are not seeing it. Oh. And not quite a year, we started recording series. I have records
of air crashes, you mean?
Of bird strikes within our airport.
Okay.
But thank God today, yes, that road had removed the abattoir. Some of those dump sites are no more there. Some of those ant hills, because of some construction there, are not also there. But mark you, even that construction is another problem.
But that's an indication that the airport authority is working.
No, listen. I'm not saying they are not working. But air safety is 100%. Nothing like 99.9%. Because when you are 99.9% cautious, that 0.1, when it will happen, it will be very, very disastrous. And that is why somebody like me, whatever you are doing, you say you are doing the best. I still want to see it to be 100%. Because when you're talking about aviation, there are a lot of things. It's a system. When you're talking of aviation, you are not talking about ground handling. What situation do we have in our ground handling subsector? What do we have in the tourist sector? What do we have even in Kaya? There are a lot of things that are embedded. How about our navigational aids? To what extent have we been updating them? To what extent? Because all these things are issues. We might not be having it now, but there are some hazards that are in waiting. I'll give you an instance. Look at a particular warehouse. A warehouse. Yes, very clean environment, nice equipment, nice this, nice that. But unfortunately, they have that particular, let's assume that particular handling company within the cargo department is using a forklift that is leaking oil, that is leaking engine oil. And nobody is looking at it as an hazard. Nothing will happen. But then, someone is now carrying a dangerous goods, a particular dangerous good, that if it falls down, it will explode. They call such an explosive dangerous good that should be handled with care. You are now carrying that forklift. And unfortunately, that forklift now slipped on that oil on the floor. What do you think will happen? Very small thing, very small thing. So what I'm saying is aviation industry needs 100% care. Even in other climes where they have this and all that, they follow standards, it still happen. Look at Concorde aircraft. You know, they don't make Concorde aircraft again because of the incident of Air France of 20 aircraft of 2002 or thereabouts. It just carry one small pebble on the wrong way, and that was the end. Just one small pebble.
Well, Dr. Dial, aside the deplorable state of our airports and the fact that you come into the airport, especially those coming now, someone said something that was quite funny, but really it's important that whenever he's landing, coming from outside the country, landing Lagos and he's seeing all of those things is already devastating. And then you get to the airport, you see people that are already telling you, Oga, anything for the boys, Oga, this, that. Now, you had already said that in every sector, our name has been thrown to the trash.
All
so
sectors.
Things like that, Dr. Dio, those things may be little, but they are actually very embarrassing and important.
Image.
So how can all of those things be curbed?
It is about professional, and that's when I talk about professionalism. Do you get professionalism? If I'm a policeman now, you won't expect me to be behaving as somebody who is not enlightened. Do you get? Who is not enlightened? Abroad, airports abroad, there's what we call tips. You can give somebody something. You can, I like the way you attended to me. I like this. Do you understand? You say, please. And it does not necessarily mean it should be money. It could be small bottle of perfume. It could even be this. Sometimes at this airport at Austria in Vienna, I was traveling with some snake skins and mountain lizard skins. I don't know their endangered species. Okay, and I was stopped. The guy wanted to check but because I believe I was not carrying anything incriminating. He checked and he saw those things. He said, "Are you aware this thing is under endangered species and all that?" And I didn't declare them. I said, "I don't know." And he saw the innocence in me. True life story. He saw the innocence in me. Interestingly, my host was also waiting outside the airport to pick me up. He now said, "Who is my host?" I mentioned his name. They now called him. He came in and they started speaking their language to, Dutch to themselves. I said, "Oh, he doesn't know that this thing is an Ekiti man, this and that." And he was even bringing in this as a gift to some of his Oyibo friends who love African things. I even took this drum, gong, small gong, about three or four of them that I wanted to give to his friends, guys, boys, And that guy looked at me and he said, "Okay, please, it is an endangered species. Never you do that again." I said I should go. I was so happy. You know what I did? I said, "Look, this is where, take this. All you need to do is just staple it to your wall. You will love it." And we became friends. If they ask for it, if it is here, they will say, this is contraband. You have to go to so place. Okay, if you don't want us to seize this, negotiation will start, which is embarrassing. But look at me now talking nicely about the other end. But here, negotiation will start. And meanwhile, you that is coming, you have seen a lot of, maybe you have even seen a lot of troubles on the way. Imagine you want to land at our the aircraft want to land on the wrong way, NEPA will just try. Bam! I've experienced it before. I've experienced it before. With that, your heart will skip. Okay? You will become unsettled. Okay, by God's grace, you have escaped that. Somebody is now harassing you again at your point of entry.
Worsening the whole situation.
Worsening the whole situation. What record will you go away with? I have seen friends that said that, look, I'm not going to come back to this country again. Even during COVID. Using it to extort passengers. Nigerians.
That's talking about corruption.
Do you understand? Okay. Extorting Nigerians. Nigerians extorting Nigerians at their own Nigerian airport. Imagine.
All right, now, 61 years. Why is...
So what good do you want us to see? I'm not saying they are not doing some nice things. Do you understand? But those nice things, they are not sufficient enough to remove what... Look at all the whatever runways at our Lagos airport since all these days. It has never been replaced. All you do is just resurface.
After 61 years and counting, why is Nigeria still battling with having in place a national carrier?
Okay. After 61 years of independence, why is Nigeria still battling with good leadership? Leadership. We were having before. Yeah. My master's was on maritime. I used Nigerian National Shipping Line as my case study. Then Nigeria was having 21 ocean-going vessels. I'm saying this authoritatively. And that was I did that project 1986, 88. 1986 to 88. My master's project was on that. What do we have today? Go to that building now. It's now being invested with rats and snakes. That's the day I went to Papa. Between you and me, I didn't know when I was shedding tears. Then look at this money spinning industry. That some people, out of their hedonistic tendencies, and how do I even put it? This is a national television. Don't let us. Look at it's annoying. It's crazy for us to have such a national monument like that. So also, our carrier. I have a picture on my phone of one Nigerian Airways. Then, how much was it to New York? How much was it to New York? Not up to 300 naira.
But then the
not up to 300. Yeah, I'm only saying. Yeah. If you look at our air hostesses in their uniform, that green, white, green, man, you will be proud to be a Nigerian. Yes, I'm still proud to be a Nigerian because I know it's a phase. I'm going to go through it.
That's
okay.
That's a good one.
No, it's true. But we still have to say. I told somebody yesterday. I said yes, Nigeria is passing through a phase. There is no amount of intimidation, no amount of hunger, no amount of all this that we are facing that will make me to leave Nigeria and go and be living elsewhere. No, Nigeria is my country. I will continue to be in Nigeria and I will keep on living in this country to join hands with other credible people
to build it.
All right, Dr. Daya, for the want of time, let's get your final thoughts on this. It's Independence Week and how we believe in Nigeria, you believe in Nigeria. So what are your final thoughts and recommendations for success for the aviation industry, being an expert in this?
Yes, you see, the leaders, the stakeholders, they should look at what happened in the past, what the leaders in the past did that were right. During, what's his name, Dr. Bakwe. Bakwe, he was the first aviation minister in this country. Go and study the blueprint he came up with. Let us go through our national developmental plans and see all that happened then. Let us look at the professionals within the industry that have decided to leave the industry for something else entirely. Let us call them back. Let us have a roundtable discussion. Stakeholders, professionals, the academians, call all of them together. And then let us provide solution to the problems that are bedeviling the industry, so that Nigeria aviation industry can also compare with South African Airways, South African aviation industry, that of Ethiopia. Do you know Ethiopia has nothing other than aviation? We need to continue to be the giant of Africa. But before we can do that, let us pull heads together and develop the industry.
Thank you,
you've said it all there. We all have to join hands together and build not just the aviation industry, but Nigeria as a whole. Yeah, we've been talking with Dr. Dayo Kayode, political technocrat, cum aviation experts. And you can agree with me, he did justice to the topic we have for discussion today.